Hey everybody, it's Christy from my Artful Adventures, and today is Tiny Tuesday. So thanks for joining me for another Tiny Tuesday, and I am pre-recording this, and so since it's not live, I think I can get through this a little bit more quickly than normally. So we're going to get started right away. What we've got here is we're going to make a little never-ending journal is what I like to call it. We're going to use some art impressions paper packs that are 6x6. Now I know that so many of you have probably got 6x6 paper pads, and if you don't, you probably will someday. Now I'm just using that because it's a small size. And that's what Tiny Tuesday is often about. It's either small sizes or small projects. So today this is what we're going to use, and it's called the Encouragement Paper Pack. It's 80 pounds cardstock, and so being 80 pounds, it is pretty substantial. And although I wouldn't have to probably have a cover for it, I'm going to use a little bit of a cover. It's not very heavy. It's a textured paper, and I think it'll be nice because as we fold and put our papers together, I think that, you know, sometimes they have a habit of becoming kind of a little bit off kilter. So this will help hide some of those edges if we need to do that. This is only going to use, what I'm using today, I'm only going to use 3 pieces of 6x6 paper. They are cut at 3 inches, and then I went ahead and I scored them at 3 inches as well. So I've got, you know, and the nice thing about when you're using double-sided paper, and I'm not an affiliate for Art Impressions, but I do like their products. I wouldn't mind being one. So hint, hint. So anyway, the nice thing about double-sided papers is if you've got a company that really takes into consideration what's on the other side, you've got 2 really usable, you know, designs on a piece of paper. And I think that that is really important. So now after you've got these, oh, and let me say, you could design yours to be all kinds of sizes. And, you know, this one is going to be square. And the reason I wanted it square is, you know, we've been making some little things where you could do some practice stamping and coloring and things like that. This journal is meant more to be something where you could display those, where it's not so much practice, but you've got some little pieces that you want to display. And these would be perfect for that. You could put them right here in the center of your little pages. So let me show you how you would assemble these. What you're going to do is, okay, remember I said they're 3 by 6, 3 inches tall, 6 inches wide, and I've scored them at the 3-inch mark. So what you want to do is you want to lay these out. You want an even number of pages too. So let me just say that. So one of the things that you'll want to do, and I've played around with this, and you want to make sure that you have your, you want them all facing the same way at this point. Because as you flip them over, when I show you how this works, you'll see why it's important to have them at this point where you can see them all the same. Okay, so this is going to be this row back here. Oh my goodness, I can barely maneuver these around today for some reason. And let's see, this goes here, and then this one right here. So you want 1 each of these, okay? So this is what we'll do. We'll take the first one, and we're going to fold it like this. It's going to have a valley fold. And then our next one here on this layer is going to have, so the reason I put them into these 2 rows is this. These are going to have a mountain fold. So let's just go ahead and put them that way. Mountain folds on these, and then valley folds on these. Okay? All right, so we've got this one slides in here, and we just get that all fixed up there. And let's just go ahead and get to gluing them so that they're not just everywhere, okay? And I hope these are fairly straight. Oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness. All right. And we could just use a little, you know, if you use a little bit of glue stick or something, you can kind of slide them around and maneuver them until you have them right where you want. Oh, man, I'm afraid my glue might be too clogged up. Thank goodness. And I thought I might not have to do any editing. Huh. If I can get this to work, I still might not have to do much. Oh, good grief. You know what? Let's just use a little, you know what? I know. Oh, I don't want to use that. I want to make sure I can maneuver it around. So I'm just going to use some glue stick while I put these together for you, okay? I would not do that because I would want it. I want to make sure it was going to stay. Okay, so let's just get that there. Make sure it folds nicely. And so then this one goes on. Oh, no, that's my first row. I have folded these so many times, it's hard for me to tell which still is a valley fold or mountain fold. So, anywho, okay, so then this one goes here. And you might be thinking, but I'm never going to see all the patterns. No, you will. You will. Hang on. Oh, this is still... Man, that glue stick is grabbing quick today. Let's just start on this side instead. And you have to have it to where it's not going to interfere with the score line. All right. And then this one goes here. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're getting the glue to the edges there so that that can be sealed up and nice. Okay, and then this one needs to be the valley fold. Oh, there's a big glob there. And we're just going to keep putting these together. But the important thing is you need to make sure that you've got an even number. That is key to this working out. And here's our last one. Put this on here. So you can see, we can still see all of the same things. Okay, now then, let's fold it up. Just like that. And let me show you why we call it the never-ending journal. And then at this point, like I said, this, and I've got nice edges on this one, and because this is a good quality of cardstock, and it's 80-pound cardstock, I wouldn't even really mind not putting the covers on the front of this. So here's what you do. You open this up, and then you can fold it like you have your whole double, you know, your pages are double like this. So you can fold it there, fold it here, once here, and then when you get to this part, then you're like starting over. Now these are the other sides of those papers that you could see. And so you've got all of these right here. And then it would start over. So that's why you call it the never-ending journal. And so you just keep on. So as long as you've got an even number of pages, and as long as you start with the valley fold right there, then you're good to go. And so it's just about, you know, laying out which way that you want them. And so, like I said, see, now we've got the other side of our papers, which we couldn't see before. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to see those. But look at that. Ta-da! Now you've got them all right there. So now if you wanted to go ahead and add your covers, which I almost hate to because I started with these pretty little, you know, pages like this. Yeah, I have one of those on each side. I almost hate to do it. But what I would, and I think I won't, but this piece right here is 3 1/8 tall and 3 1/4 tall and 3 1/8 wide. And so by that, oh, excuse me, all you'd have to do is when you put it on there, you only want to run your cover piece up to the spine. You're not going to have it overlap because then it would be in the way of these other pages. So it would only be up there to that edge. That's all. And then it would, you know, you could put it like that. So that's just kind of up to you. And you could still decorate, you know, on here if you wanted to. Now, if you want an easy way to kind of make a closure, you can use like some elastic cording. This is a silver cording, and all I would want to do, and if this paper was a lighter weight paper, you wouldn't want to use a cording that would be so tight and it would be kind of marring your cover. So if I had these on there, if I was using the covers and I wanted these, you know, I wanted some kind of elastic cording, I don't want it to be too tight and pull tightly against my paper, right? So you still want something to close it, but yet not, you know, not something that is too tight. So you can just take this, and I just leave enough, you know, sticking off here. And there's so much on here, I'm not worried about running out. So I would just wrap this around about 3 times and then cut it off over here. Just cut a little length off of here. And one of the things I do is I usually keep a little place where I've made a little spot here and then just pull this through so I can find the edge again. And that just keeps it tight, and then I can find it. So now I'm just going to take this and tie a little bow, if I can. Kind of tight. And it's just so tiny, so fiddly here. Let's clear around the back. Or you could, you know what? I tell you what I think I'm going to do. I'm first going to tie a knot. I'm just going to tie a knot in it first. And then I won't have to worry about how tight that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, there. So I got a knot in it. And now I can just tie a little bow and not worry. Good grief, who thought tying a bow could be that much trouble? Okay. And then snip some of this off. Now, a lot of times I might even take a tiny bit of glue, not while it's on here, but I might take it while it's off and do it. But then what this does is it's giving you a tiny little thing, and then you can just take this off. You can just take that off while you want to peek through it, and then when you're done, all you have to do is just, you know, wind it back around, just like a, you know, hair tie or something. And there you go. There's your little tiny closure. Super easy, right? So then you could take this off or stick something under here and just put a tiny bit of glue on that to make sure it's not going to come undone. And there is your sweet little never-ending folio. How do you like that? I hope you guys have enjoyed this sweet little project today and will consider coming and joining us for other Tiny Tuesdays or other things we might be doing on the channel. And I hope that you will give me a like and subscribe here on YouTube if you have enjoyed today. And I'm sorry I didn't show my face today. I'm trying to get this ready so that I can upload it for Tiny Tuesday. I've got another event to be in tomorrow. I needed to have this ready for Tuesday. You guys, thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.